Stay silent, everything will come to you naturally. There is a kind of power that doesn't scream, it doesn't shout to be seen, it doesn't demand to be acknowledged, it just is. It sits in stillness with dignity. It breathes in peace. It waits, not with impatience, but with quiet confidence, because deep within it knows what is meant for me will find me. We live in a world where loudness is mistaken for strength, where we are told to always be doing, always be chasing, always be proving. But what if I told you sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is to stay silent? Not silent in fear, but silent in strength. Silent because you've reached a point where you no longer need to beg for what's already yours. The strength in stillness is a sacred kind of silence, the one that comes after you've been broken and rebuilt. The silence of a soul that has learned the art of surrender. We often misunderstand silence. We think silence is weakness, that it's passive, that it means giving up. But real silence, the silence that comes from inner alignment, is the opposite of weakness. It is power. It is resilience. It is faith in motion. Because silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is aligning. Why we chase so hard? We chase people. We chase answers. We chase love. We chase timelines. We chase worth as if it exists outside of us. But you don't need to chase what is already yours. When you start running after things, constantly trying to force control and manipulate outcomes, you lose your center. You lose yourself. But when you stay still, when you go inward, when you choose to trust instead of panic, that is when the universe starts to work for you, not against you. Because silence is not absence. It's presence in its purest form. Let the noise die down. Sometimes we speak too soon. We act too quickly. We react too emotionally because we're uncomfortable with silence. But silence gives you clarity. It gives you answers that noise never will. It lets you hear yourself without the voices of doubt, fear, or outside opinion. Stay silent, not because you're weak, but because you are wise enough to understand that not everything needs your reaction. Not every comment needs a comeback. Not every insult needs a defense. Not every situation needs your involvement. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is smile and walk away. You are not behind. There's a quiet kind of suffering we never talk about. The pressure of feeling behind, of watching others move forward while you feel stuck, of comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. But you are not behind. You are on a different road. And your road was never meant to look like theirs. Growth isn't always loud. Healing isn't always visible. Transformation doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it happens slowly, silently, naturally. And one day, without even realizing it, you bloom. You arrive. You see everything you once prayed for sitting quietly in front of you, not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. The universe doesn't rush. Look at nature. The sun doesn't rush to rise. The flowers don't force themselves to bloom. The trees don't compete with one another. They grow silently, naturally, exactly as they're meant to. You are no different. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to force your journey. You don't have to be louder, faster, stronger, better. You just have to be present and patient, because what's yours is already finding its way to you. And when it arrives, it will feel effortless. Not because it was easy, but because it was aligned. Let go of control. Control is an illusion. You cannot control how others see you. You cannot control what they say, what they do, how they respond. You cannot control timing. You cannot control the outcome. But what you can control is your peace, your silence, your stillness, your trust. The more you release control, the more life flows. The more you let go, the more everything that's meant for you starts arriving without you having to lose yourself in the process. Speak when your words can build. There is a time to speak. And there is a time to stay silent. Speak only when your words carry light. Speak only when your voice can uplift, not destroy. Speak when your truth is ready, not when your ego is loud. Silence is not avoiding, it's choosing not to participate in anything that costs you your inner peace. There is maturity in not reacting. There is power in being the calm in the storm. There is grace in not needing to prove your worth. Because when you truly know who you are, you don't have to scream it. Would you like me to continue with the remaining till 3,500 words? I can keep the same emotional and motivational flow, delivering it in one go or in smaller parts based on your preference. Thanks for watching.